Hi, my name is Florian Edukaushe, and I was assigned to talk about how to create a test matrix for a program. So let's quickly go to my PowerPoint. Um, okay, it's taking a while. Okay, so there we are. Okay, so how do we create a test matrix? There are actually two steps. The first step is we start by listing the inputs, and by listing the inputs, we would be able to get the output by using the equation or the formula that we we were able to formulate. Now we put the inputs and the output in the first column of the table. As we go down, I would explain that. Uh, this can easily be obtained from the definition of the problem in step one. Um, Now the next is to identify the different data that makes the program run valid or invalid, and also the boundary test cases that need to be run to prove that the function is working properly. Okay, so as I stated earlier, um, the test matrix contains the input values to be entered and the expected output values to be returned for each test case. Okay, so you can have as many test cases as you want, as listed here, under valid, invalid, and boundary. Now, as mentioned in slide one, we first of all put the inputs, that's the variables, okay, on this side of the table. Um, we have valid, which actually should fall in the range which we created. Okay, this range come in the form of probably if character is less than 1 or greater than 30, then it should give an error. But if it falls within that range, then it should give an output, and so the function would run. So for character, using the range that I just gave, which is actually the range that I used as indicated in the algorithm, if character is less than 1 or greater than 30, return -1, meaning that all numbers which are between 1 and 30 inclusive actually should make the function run. So for our first test case, um, character is 7, location is 9, monster is 8. So it will give us an output, so the function would run. Now for our second test, character falls within the range, but location falls outside, because in the algorithm says that location is should be equal, less than 30. Okay, so having location to be 38 would give throw an error. Now when we go to the invalid, the second test for the invalid, 9 falls within the range, but -6 does not. In the algorithm, location should be within 1 and 30. But as we can see, it is -6 here, so it would throw an error. Now, notice this, despite the fact that the other variables are within the range, even if one is not within the range, it will still throw a variable. Okay, now looking at the third test for the invalid, as we can see, 42 is greater than 30, so it should throw an error. Now, the boundary, um, this constitutes the boundary. A smaller number and a bigger number, okay, creates the boundary. So the boundary is 1 to 30, numbers between 1 and 30. So having that in mind, for the first test for the boundary. 8 falls within, 6 falls within, 12 falls within. So that should work. 7 falls within, 9 falls within, 10 falls within. That should work. So should these ones work? If we should, in case, change this to -10, it wouldn't work. Okay. So I was also supposed to translate the algorithm, which is this. Before I talk about that, know that this output, we got the output and all these outputs. For this one is because they are not within the range, so they should return a -1, which is an indication of an error. But for these outputs, we use the formula that we created, and that would return a move function. Okay, so as I was saying, I was told by my group members to translate the algorithm into a code. Now, basically, we are going to use this same expression in translating this into a code. So let's quickly go to NetBeans. Okay, so this is my move function. These are my variables. Now the int shows that we are entering numbers, okay? That's the data type. So for all the 4 variables, these are the data types. And the public means that everybody has access to it. It's not restricted, okay, like the private function. Okay, so if character is less than 1, okay, I think I left something out. If character is less than 1, oh, my PC is freezing. Okay, there we go. If character is less than 1, or so just a minute. This is how to write or in code form. I'm just looking for the var. Okay, I think there's it. Okay, this is less than 1 or 30. Or greater than 30, it should return an error. Okay, so let's do it for all of them. There we go. Okay, my ORs. Or probably let me just use and. Yeah, let's use and. Doesn't make any difference anyway. Okay. So there we go. This might be a syntax error. I think, yeah. I've seen where the problem is. Okay, let's fix that. So if character is less than 1 is less than, character is less than this, yeah. I'll figure that out later, but let me just use it to explain. Okay, so we take the same algorithm and convert it to code. So if character is less than 1 or greater than 30, you return a -1. If location is less than or greater than 30, you return -1. If monster is less than 1 or greater than 30, you return negative. So here we are forming a range so that if we should put in the number, and it's outside, it's less than 1 or greater than 1, we would get a negative, or it would throw an error. Okay, but if it's within, it should return, it should calculate. Okay, it should add, then give us the function move. Okay, so that's about it for converting this into the algorithm into a code. So let's go down. Okay, so I was also told to talk about if statements. Actually, selection statements. Okay, so we have if statement as a selection statement, we have if else statement, and we even have if else statements. So there are a whole lot of them. Okay, so assuming we have uh, this function, okay, and we want to print something, okay. So we have our first test to be 6, right? We have our, sorry, we have our, if we have our test to be 6, the int is here because it's a number to be 6, and the test currently being entered is 9. We are saying that it should indicate yes. System.out.println means it should print it out to be yes. Okay. Else, it should print it out to be this is else. So that means if the first, actually, let me use conditions so that it will be easier. So if test is, let me get rid of this. Then use conditions. Okay, so if test is greater than 9, print yes. Otherwise, print this is else. So if this condition doesn't hold, if this condition holds, the first statement, which is yes, will be executed. Otherwise, if this statement doesn't hold, the second will be executed. That means the first will be skipped. Okay, so that's about selection statements. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Just a minute. Okay, so it says walk through the code of the unit test you created for the control function in an individual assignment. Demonstrate your knowledge between the test matrix and then run it. Okay, so let's go to one of them. Okay, so well, let's get rid of these. Okay, so we save it. Okay, so I've already explained this part, right? If it is less than 1, error, it should give us an error. Okay, so this function valid location also have 2 variables, and of course I use the text matrix for it before I converted it into the algorithm into a code. Okay, so going back to if statement, if character is less than 1, return should be false. Okay, if it is, I think, yeah, the same thing here. Now the valid location, because it's a number and the number is random, any number can be used. In entry, we use this syntax here. Okay. Otherwise, if it is greater than or equal to 1, we should return true. Okay. So I think the same thing applies to this open log function. Okay. So let's run it and see. Okay. couldn't run. I have to run it from here. I didn't want to run it because it would take a while. Okay, but let's run it and see, of course. If we don't get any error, that means we are good to go. Okay, just a minute. My PC is a bit slow, so please bear with me. Okay. Okay, there we go. We're getting something. Okay. So most definitely no error, right? We're getting no errors. Okay. Yeah. There we go. So choose my name, Haba Flow. I enter, I get this. All right. So let's start a new game by choosing N. After that, let's choose a warrior by choosing 1. Let's go to the north by choosing N. Okay, so please enter the first number between 1 and 15. Yeah, I think I created that. So I have that. I want to go to the north. You have chosen the north. Okay, so that's about it. Thank you for watching, and please do give me feedback on how to better myself.